and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavour show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're working with something a bit different, actually quite unique. Specific excerpts from a single day's episode of The Archers, the BBC radio drama.
And you might be thinking, Ambridge, but honestly, the stuff happening at Home Farm right now, it's complex. Plenty for us to get our teeth into.
Absolutely. So our mission today is pretty clear. Cut through the everyday farm life chatter and give you, well, the fast track to understanding the really big shifts going on. We're talking business succession, family tensions boiling over.
And potential crises looming. It's definitely more than just farming updates this time.
Exactly. And things are moving fast. So we've sort of pinpointed three main areas, and they're all tangled together. First, this really sudden change up in how Home Farm is being managed.
Right. Second, the whole situation around George Aldrich coming back from prison, all the planning, the anxiety.
Yeah, the emotional side of that is huge. And third, these other significant pressures hitting the family all at once. You know, people leaving, serious illness, even corporate stuff in the background.
Okay, so let's start with Home Farm then. Because that management shift, wow, it's pretty major. The trigger, as the source confirms, was Stella leaving. She's gone for good.
Definitely not coming back. Took that job with North Borsich farmers. And it's interesting how they describe North Borsich farmers.
Yeah, it's not your standard co-op, apparently. It's more like a group of farms working together on environmental projects.
Landscape scale initiatives is the phrase used. Big picture stuff.
So a great move for Stella, career-wise. Focus on strategy, environment. But yeah, it leaves this massive hole at Home Farm.
A hole that Adam and Rory stepped into almost immediately. They put forward this proposal to take over the day-to-day running.
Their argument was basically, look, the farm worked fine for years with two people managing it, Brian and Adam back then, so why not a new duo? Adam and Rory.
Seems practical on the surface.
And Rory, well, he seems really committed. He didn't just say he'd do the job. He framed it like he wants to be a proper farmer. Learn from everyone, Adam, Debbie, Brian. He even talked about taking courses.
So like an apprenticeship almost.
Exactly. He's positioning himself as Adam's apprentice, basically showing long-term dedication. Which, you know, the family probably needed to hear.
Okay, I get the dedication part. But reading between the lines, was the pitch really just about Rory stepping up? Or was it more about finally getting Brian to step back?
Well, that's the thing. They explicitly mention Brian needing to retire for his health, to enjoy life. It feels like they use Stella leaving as the perfect moment, the perfect excuse, maybe, to push for Brian's retirement.
Like a bit of strategic maneuvering disguised as a practical solution.
Could be. It definitely feels like love mixed with a business strategy. They even prepped for resistance, got Kate and Debbie sort of on board beforehand. They were apparently okay with it. Alice only found out briefly that morning. They were expecting a fight from Brian.
You'd think so, right? Given how he's always guarded his control over Home Farm. Adam even made it clear Brian would still be the senior partner involved in the big decisions strategy.
Yeah, Adam and Rory would just handle the day-to-day grind. You'd expect, I don't know, weeks of talks, hesitation.
But no, the sources say Brian's reaction was instant.
Yeah.
And positive. Shockingly so.
Called it an excellent idea, said it was about time for a new generation. Just like that.
And then immediately suggests going to the pub to celebrate with Alice.
Yeah. It's jarring. This man who's held on so tightly for decades just lets go, almost eagerly.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Maybe those other pressures we mentioned, maybe they'd already taken their toll. Perhaps it wasn't just about Adam and Rory being ready, but about Brian being ready to let go of the stress. His mind somewhere else entirely.
That speed is definitely something, and if you connect that sudden willingness to, relax, go to the pub with the overall family mood, it's a stark contrast. Because while Brian's celebrating, this huge source of tension is about to reappear.
George Aldrich.
Right.
Let's shift to that. The sources are really specific about his release date. The victim liaison officer told Alice, next week, Thursday the 9th.
Having that exact date just hanging there, you can feel the anxiety building.
And you see it straight away in the party planning. It's set for the Friday after he gets out at Will's place. But how Emma and Amber are preparing. It really highlights the different ways they're coping.
Oh, absolutely. It's like two different worlds colliding. Emma is all about practicality, comfort food.
Making a huge lasagna, getting drinks sorted. She even makes a point about needing soft drinks, because lots of young people don't drink much now, trying to keep things under control. And she bought his favorite snack, Garibaldi.
Which is quite sweet, in a way. Grounded. Then you look at Amber. She's taken over George's bedroom makeover.
Yeah. Formula One inspired graphic prints,
Yeah.
trying to make it bougie but still comfortable.
And she bought new bedding herself because Emma's choice apparently really wouldn't go.
Hold on. The family is bracing for George's return from prison, this incredibly fraught, difficult moment, and a major point of discussion is whether the duvet cover is bougie enough.
It says a lot, doesn't it? About trying to paper over the cracks, maybe. Focus on appearances, on making things seem normal or even aspirational, instead of dealing with the reality of where he's been.
While Emma's worried sick about the party itself getting out of hand. The noise, the neighbors, especially Trace, given why George was away in the first place.
Especially since Amber invited everyone from his year. It could get messy. Emma's focused on potential consequences, Amber on presentation.
And Alice, where does she stand in all this? She's the one who got the date confirmed.
Her reaction is just pure discomfort, avoidance. The source mentions her hoping he has the decency to keep a low profile, and when it comes up, she apparently just shuts the conversation down, wants to talk about anything else.
Which is understandable given her own history, but it's also quite telling. Her reaction isn't protective or welcoming, it's keep him away, keep things calm.
Yeah, it suggests the family's capacity for dealing with more drama, more trauma is just maxed out. His return feels like another potential disruption, not a homecoming.
Completely maxed out. And then you layer on these other things happening at the same time. Let's touch on the corporate side quickly. Justin Elliott.
Ah, yes, the BL saga. So he's resigned from the board, confirmed, and DeMar is selling all its shares in BL.
It was kind of expected, but still, it's a big move. Closes the chapter.
And the source adds that little detail about Justin loving brinkmanship. So he probably dragged it out. But yeah, that financial uncertainty, at least that part, is resolving.
Amidst all this stress, though, they're trying to plan something nice. A family trip.
Yeah, a little escape attempt. A luxury baronial castle in Scotland, apparently.
Sounds ambitious.
Everyone's supposedly keen, even Jacob. But the detail that stands out is Rory having to book it by contacting the Factor.
Because it's too posh for online booking.
Apparently so. A little moment of slightly absurd grandeur in the middle of everything else.
Which makes the contrast with the next piece of news even sharper.
Right.
The really tough one. Bartleby.
Oh yeah, that's just heartbreaking. The sources make it clear there's serious worry about Bartleby's health. Meg's getting a second opinion, but
they need to prepare for the worst. That he might need to be put down. Possibly by the end of the week.
the timing is just cruel, isn't it? Planning this welcome party for George, trying to make things positive after such a hard time for him.
And knowing this news about Bartleby is waiting, the source explicitly notes the reaction. It'll break George's heart.
He's coming home not just to this underlying family tension, but potentially to losing his horse, this connection to his childhood, his stability. It just piles on more emotional weight.
So if we pull all these threads together, what are we looking at? We've got Home Farms management changing hands with astonishing speed, driven by Adam and Rory, but accepted instantly by Brian.
Then there's George's return. The logistics are fraught, highlighting these generational divides and coping Emma's practicality versus Amber's focus on appearances and Alice's deep-seated avoidance.
And underpinning all of it, these other pressures, Justin leaving BL, the planned Scottish escape, and most immediately, the devastating possibility of losing Bartleby.
The common theme seems to be intense pressure, forcing really rapid, potentially life-altering decisions.
Which brings us back to Brian. That speed. Why now? After all these years of hanging on, why the sudden, almost cheerful handover?
Exactly. And that leads us to the provocative thought we want to leave you with. Think about Brian's decision. Was it purely him finally seeing that Adam and Rory were capable, that was the right time for the farm?
Or was it maybe less about them and more about him? Was his decision kind of accelerated by everything else piling up? The stress of Stella leaving, knowing George's difficult return was coming, the background noise of BL, maybe his own health concerns, and now this awful news about Bartleby.
Did all that stress just reach a tipping point? Did it suddenly shift his priorities away from the farm itself and towards just managing the crisis, surviving, focusing on family, even if that meant stepping back completely from the day-to-day?
Was it retirement by choice? Or retirement by necessity, driven by the sheer weight of everything else? Something to definitely mull over. When things get tough in Ambridge, they seem to cascade, don't they?
They certainly do. A lot packed into one day's events. Thanks for diving deep with us.
So, what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So, what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches. Any
Are you what we
movements
call Foley then?
and- kind of. Yep.
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the ball bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever